Hey, how you doing? My name is Ryan, and today we're taking a look at the brand new LEGO Avengers sets for 2020. Now, these sets aren't tied to a particular Marvel film, meaning they are, for lack of a better word, generic Avengers sets. These kind of sets have been hit or miss in the past. When they're good, they are really, really good. In fact, one of my favorite sets in general, the Avengers space jet with the two ships that come apart, the original Thanos, Big Fig, Hyperion, Space Iron Man, Captain Marvel. Great set, great price, great figures. On the flip side, the Red Hulk versus Green Hulk Demolition Derby set, I thought had okay figures but terrible builds and was the exact same price as the Avengers space jet. So let's hope that these sets kind of fall more so on that good side. Also, I picked these up at Kohl's, which have been surprisingly good at getting LEGO sets out earlier than they're supposed to be. So before you check Walmart or Target or hound Amazon for the sets to come out, look at Kohl's first. I've had some really good luck with them. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's look at these sets. Let's start off with these two mech suits. We have an Iron Man suit and a Thanos mech suit. Now, there are 4 sets in this series, which means that half of them are these little $10 mech suits. I'm not sure what to think of that. Now, before you say, what about the Spider-Man sets? Well, for one, they're labeled as LEGO Spider-Man, not LEGO Avengers. For 2, some of them are junior sets. And 3, there's even a Spider-Man mech suit in that series too. So I'm not sure what to think of these little $10 almost action figures. Let's hope they build better than they look. Okay, the Thanos mech suit. There's not a lot to like here, but there are some things. I think the overall design is kind of nice. I think the mobility of the hips with this little swivel piece is really nice. And my favorite part actually might be these little golden pieces on his shoulder and I guess ankles. They're really reflective and really just beautiful Lego pieces. The gauntlet construction, it's nice. I think it's a bit too skeletal looking and technical looking for my likes, but again, if you're going to make him an infinity gauntlet that's bendable and this big, you kind of had to go this route. It's a $10 mech suit. That's what you get. You get a little $10 giant action figure made out of Legos. I think the actual minifigure, I'll put it this way. If I run out of space on my Lego board, this is probably one of the first figures I'd say, okay, maybe I can replace him. While the printing's nice on the front and you do get a nice little back print, you get one face, it's angry, he has red eyes, and the helmet is super gold and doesn't match the chest print at all, nor does it have printing on it. So, yeah, look, it's a $10 mech suit. I'm not sure what I was expecting outside of, well, that. Let's hope the Iron Man's a little bit better. Before we build the Iron Man suit, I want to say one thing. LEGO, this is your 6th Iron Man mech suit, 5 of which are the same scale as this guy. So maybe ease off the Iron Man suits for just a little bit. Alright, bag 1 done. Couple of thoughts already. 1, I love this minifigure. This is a really, really nice Iron Man figure. They're very clearly drawing inspiration from the new Avengers game coming out, which I think might be their entire MO for this current wave of minifigures. I think Captain America, Black Panther, and Thor kind of match their game models as well. And that was a really smart choice because we've already had comic book Iron Man, we've already had movie Iron Man, video game Iron Man looks super nice. And I think this might be the best use of the new Iron Man, Ant-Man rescue helmet that I've seen. So, nice job. But I already have some negatives in that this is a very similar build, if not identical, to the Thanos mech, because again, it's kind of the same mold, it's the same kind of construction, the same build. So judging by this first bag, I have a feeling I'll be kind of making the same set again. So rather than make you watch the same time lapse again, I'll see you when the set's done. If I'm being honest, I think there's more good to be found in the Iron Man mech suit than the Thanos mech suit. Here's why. For starters, having a little Iron Man head attached to this giant mech suit, it kind of makes more sense. Iron Man would have a larger suit to surround himself in. Heck, he's had it 6 times by this point. With Thanos, just have this little vulnerable Thanos head popping out of this giant suit. It looks out of proportion, whereas this one makes some sense. One thing I don't like in this set that's not in the Thanos set is that there's a little gray tube sticking out of the back of each hand because they used a two-sided little two-tubed piece for both hands, which means there's a thumb joint in the front, but in the back there's just a little extra piece and it looks kind of off and unfinished. But I think the red looks nice. I think the figure's fantastic. I think the play feature is fun. There's just more fun to be had with this than the Thanos set. So both these mech suits, they're $10 and that's about as much as you can get from them. Builds are okay. Some minifigures are better than others, but yeah, $10 is about all they're worth. How about another set? This is the Avengers speeder bike attack. It's worth $20. It includes Black Panther, Thor, and an AIM agent with some sort of almost vulture-like wing contraption. One little fun touch that I like is actually on the box. The top right-hand corner artwork has the Lego versions of the characters, whereas the side has the comic book versions. That's kind of fun. Let's build this. So, the Avengers Speeder Bike Chase Set. You know what? For 20 bucks, it's a pretty solid play set. You have your main build, your side build, 3 figures, and some little play features. And I'm actually kind of surprised that this set has 3 figures, 2 main heroes and 1 villain, because sometimes LEGO skimps out on that kind of stuff. And the figures themselves, Thor looks great. I think this is the first time we've ever had Thor with this hair color, this sort of sand yellow, as opposed to the bright yellow, and I really, really like it. The cape's nice, the printing on the chest is nice. I kind of wish we had a different Mjolnir. We've had the same hammer for all of the Thor figures. Maybe it's time to make a new one. The Black Panther figure I really like. I wish we got some leg printing on him, but the print on his chest and back and his face are really, really nice. So yeah, these are good figures. The AIM guy, the scientist, he's fine. He's a generic bad guy figure. I'm not expecting the moon for him. As for the builds themselves, the speeder bike, it's basically a bat pod. I've built things like this before. We all have. It's a pretty simple build, not a lot of complexity to it. Sure, if I spent more than 20 bucks on it, I'd probably be upset, but I didn't. The AIM Scientist Vulture thing, this is really kind of wacky. It has this really weird shape to it. The more times LEGO Marvel goes all out, the more chances we have at really unique, inventive sets. The one thing I do wish is that we have this weird hook on a chain thing. I wish we could fire this out of a stud shooter, but other than that, this thing kind of has a charm to it that's growing on me quite a bit. So yeah, this set, pretty darn good. Okay, it's a new day, it's snowing, I got a haircut, I think it looks good, and we have one more set left to build. This is the Avengers Truck Takedown. It's the largest of the series, retails at $40, and includes Captain America, Hawkeye, 2 AIM agents, this giant truck, and 2 little villain vehicles. Once again, hero vehicles huge, villain vehicles small, but let's see if the set is good regardless. So I owe this little villain ship a bit of an apology. Now, the bottom half of it, this little 3-wheel spider bike, it's nothing special. It's a pretty simple build. But this little top drone, I really kind of like. I like the fact that it's supposed to mount on top of this base vehicle and then be detached and kind of fly around. I love the use of the lantern pieces. And there's this little tiny, almost like a mini blaster on the sides of it. There's 2 of them holding these green jewels. I don't think I've ever seen this piece before, and I really like it. So the AIM minifigures and this bottom half of the villain vehicle, nothing to hoot and holler about. But this little tiny drone, pretty well done. So the Avengers truck takedown. Overall, I'd say a pretty good set. The main truck, while clearly designed around one main play feature, it's a fun play feature. The minifigures, I think Hawkeye looks quite nice in his purple, and the Captain America figure is excellent. LEGO smartly decided to print the chin strap on his face that then goes into his helmet piece, and it looks really, really good. So overall, this set, 2 pretty okay villain figures, a kind of okay villain vehicle, a pretty solid hero vehicle, 2 great hero minifigures. Yeah, that's a pretty fun experience. But also, it's the most expensive. It's $40, so you kind of expect the best. So when I first saw the Marvel 2020 sets announced, I had some reservations in that I didn't think any set would wow me. And I was kind of right. None of these sets, while some of them good, none of them kind of crossed the barrier into great. None of them surprised me, none of them challenged me, none of them I finished building and I thought, wow, that's really fun. The 2 mech suits I think were not the smartest idea for LEGO to make. I get the idea, they've always wanted to make these giant buildable action figures. They tried it with Star Wars, they've done it with Marvel before, and they're doing it with Marvel again. I don't think it's smart. This is, again, the 6th Hulkbuster we've ever had, and this one, while it has a really good Iron Man figure, is nothing special as a build. And that's really clear with the Pharos mech, and probably the worst set of the whole series. As for the 2 other builds, while the minifigures are good and they're very well deserving of a spot on the Marvel board, I don't see myself keeping these builds intact for more than a couple of months before I scrap them for pieces. And that has kind of become the ultimate test for me of whether a set is good, if not great. Do I see myself keeping this set intact for long, or do I see myself using it only for pieces? And LEGO's allowed to have missteps. I'm not expecting perfection from them, but if Marvel's one of their big marquee brands, Marvel, Disney, DC, Creator, if this is one of their big brands, you kind of expect them to really put a lot of thought into these sets and at least have one of them wow you. But thankfully, they're all rather cheap. This is actually one of the cheapest series I've ever bought, and I'd be lying if I said that doesn't kind of show, but, if you want the sets, there's not a lot of risk to it. So let me know in the comments below. So this video was recorded before the new YouTube regulations went into effect, and because this is a LEGO review, it's gonna fall under the 4 kids category, and therefore there's no comment section. But feel free to leave your thoughts under the community tab on my channel homepage. Thanks, guys. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.